Hi everyone, thank you for being here. Today we are on step number 9 and we're going to talk about surrendering beliefs that other people have about us or that we believe other people have about us. Because at the end of the day, we believe that life is about what you get, right? You meet certain people, you get certain things, but truly it is about what you take from this world. It's the experiences that you choose to have. It's the people you intentionally surround yourself with. It's not about what life is willing to hand you. It's what you are willing to take from it. If you're going to experience a beautiful life filled with beautiful events and experiences and people, you have to be the one on the front lines taking it for yourself and deciding that you are worthy of this reality. And the first thing we have to let go of to surrender beliefs that are keeping us from this life that we're trying to create is believing that everybody needs to like you. And I keep looking over here on my very big piece of paper, and it says, we have to just start accepting that certain people aren't going to like us and that they may not even have a specific reason why they don't. They may simply just not like us. They might want to like us or they might pretend to like us, and then we need to realize when they have been scheming against us. Now, in the life that I have been very privileged to live, I have met a lot of people who have behaved a certain way, and then I find out that it was only to get access to me. And I have recently seen that happen to me again, but it is at a different perspective. Still upset that people are trying to do this, where they're trying to get closer to me and use that against me. But as we've talked about, you have to limit access, and people don't like people who don't answer questions or who don't share too much about themselves. And the right people will stick around and create a space where you're willing to share and be open about. But some people will demand things from you and refuse to give up on asking that question. Now, a specific example, there is a person in my life who kept asking me how long I was staying in a certain place, what I was doing, why, where I was, how come I was staying that long, and just wanted information. And I gave vague answers at the start, and then I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, these people are going to twist any story you give them into whatever they want. And I can't hold myself back and stop living the life that I live to make these people feel better about their questions. So eventually I was like, there's only flights at 6 a.m. or 8 p.m. and I'm waiting for another day so that I can fly out at a more reasonable time, which is 6 a.m. Not very reasonable at all. And, I was worried that this person was somehow going to use this against me in certain ways, but then I was like, you know what? I don't care that you don't like me. And what's hurtful is that this specific person used their own story to gain closeness with me, to create a sympathy for them. And this is why I urge you to not give to people more and more and more, and to listen and to offer all of these emotional benefits being in your life. That person did not deserve any access to my empathy or emotions, and I barely gave them any, and even that little amount I was upset that I gave. So you can only imagine how upset I was when people who I'd spent years being there for were not there for me, and who also betrayed that trust with the information that was given to them. So people aren't going to like you. They're going to say things to you to prove to you that they don't like you, or they're going to talk about you to other people. And honestly, just let them. Because what they think about you is none of your business, but it's also more important for you to like you. I don't need XYZ person over there to like me. I need to like me. And this entire journey has been refocusing back to that. Refocusing on the idea that I need to like the life that I live. And I don't need approval from my mother, my father, my brother, my siblings, nobody needs to approve of the life that I live other than me, and I need to feel joy within it. And plenty of people I know really could care less what I think about their life, even though the advice that I could give them would be helpful to them, and they don't want to hear it. They like their shitty relationship that they're in that is causing them to break down and give up on their dreams. If not fully, at least slow them down significantly. And I can't participate in that narrative for their life anymore. I have to choose what's right for me and accept that other people aren't going to like me. They're not going to be okay with what's going on in my life. And that's okay, because nobody else has to live the life that I live. Nobody has to pay the bills that I pay. And that's kind of it. They really don't have to have a say in my life. And at the end of the day, they're not going to, because they're choosing to go down this path that I can't participate in. And there's people in my life who are making decisions that I cannot support and that I have to distance myself. It doesn't mean you have to cut everyone off, but you have to realize that a lot of these people who attention you're begging for and who you want to like you don't even like you. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much more you give to someone. They're not going to suddenly shift and start liking you better. At the end of the day, a lot of people don't even like themselves, and them not liking you is just proof that they're not in a great place. Because people who are genuinely there for you, who want to learn, who want to be patient with you, who aren't holding your mistakes or decisions against you, are people who are learning to care for themselves and to care for other people. So this person who you're upset that doesn't like you probably doesn't even like themselves. And of course, they can't create a sense of belonging with you. They can't create it with themselves. So you have to accept that they're not going to like you. And then, what is this worst case scenario that you're going through in your mind? What if they don't like you? What if they decide that actually they're not going to go to lunch with you or talk to you anymore? What is the worst thing that could happen? And there may be bad things that do happen. You have to go to lunch by yourself, or you have to spend more time by yourself. You have to realize that the people that you cared about were only in it for a certain reason and were using you, that they betrayed the trust and the sense of connection that you had. There are very real things that happen when you realize the truth about someone. There's another thing that happens where you realize, yeah, at least I know now. At least I didn't have to wait another 10 years to figure out that this person was just using me. Yeah, I have already spent 10, but at least it's not 20. At least it's not 10 years and 3 days. At least I figured it out and I decided to move on. And you can decide to move on whenever you figure it out. And sometimes you need more information to be able to decide that. And the reason I'm able to move on quicker and not stay in that place as long as anymore is because I have been hurt enough. And if you just think you can't let this friend go or break up with this person, it's because you haven't been hurt enough. This person hasn't yelled at you enough, hasn't ghosted you enough, hasn't been mean to you enough. And someday they might be, and hopefully that day is sooner than not. But hopefully you get there, because there's a lot of people who stay in situations where it's very clear that these people aren't there for them or they don't like them, and they stay. So when people have a lot of friends, many friends, a lot of people around them, it's usually because they're staying around people who don't like them and who are using them for some reason, or who don't have any opinions to be disliked by. They aren't a strong enough character to share with the world and be honest and be who they are. So people like them because they're passive and they're kind of are just there. And if you are trying to build this new life, you're trying to rewire and create the person you've always wanted to be, you're gonna hurt people's feelings simply by being who you are. And it's tough when people misunderstand you, but it's a lot tougher when you misunderstand yourself and aren't dealing with yourself in as genuine of a way. Because at the end of the day, we were given this life for ourselves, and we have to take care of that person first and foremost and like that person give that person our love. And that person is the one that you look at in the mirror and the person that you are on the inside. Nobody else gets to say who you're going to be or who you're not unless you allow them to, and it's time to stop allowing them to. So if they don't like you, sounds like their problem, not yours. Now, one of the things that we constantly believe is that we are not disciplined, that we can't do something, that we are not smart enough, not consistent enough, not interesting enough, not worthy enough of those goals that we want to do to pursue getting up at the same time, reading those books, going to the gym, exploring the things that bring us joy. We believe that we're not worthy enough, and therefore we can't find the discipline to become those things. Now, that is our number 2. So what we have to do to bring this discipline into our life is to double down on the things that we are good at, that we are excited about. And there may be that one thing in your life that is a deal breaker, that anything can be shifted around, but this thing is the thing that you are going to do no matter what. For some people, it's going to a class every week. Maybe it's doing a sport or hanging out with the team. Whatever it is, this thing is your deal breaker. And it does not matter if you're tired or you're having other plans come up. This is the thing that you choose over all other things. And that has to be the way that you live all parts of your life. That thing has to be the way you treat everything else in your life. And that is where you start. What is the one thing that you do during the week that you have to do? Is it watching Sunday Night Football? Is it the ballet class once a week? Is it a different type of class? What is it? Is it dinner at your parents' house on Friday nights, Sunday nights, whatever it is? That is your go-to thing that you do every single week. Rain or shine, doesn't matter what. It's usually a fun thing, something that we enjoy, but that's where you start. What is this thing giving to you? If it's a type of class, it's probably that you're learning and that you're excited to go and meet other people who are interested in the same things as you. For those 3 hours, you get to be creative and no one's judging you because you're all learning together. What is this thing that you are holding on to that you are not letting other people take from you? What is it bringing to you? And realize that that's why you are holding on to it and you're not letting other people take from you. If it's watching football, maybe it's you cook the snacks for the game, or you get your favorite takeout, and for those 2 hours you aren't texting a bunch of people, you aren't worried about work the next day, you aren't confused as to what else is going on. You're just focused on this game and you're present in the moment. And that really is what discipline is being focused in the moment with what you're doing and the reason why you're doing it. A lot of people think that discipline is something that is forward facing and that's you're doing this because you want to achieve a certain goal. And though usually we all have some goals that we're working towards, discipline is about being present in the moment and choosing the thing that is going to bring you closer to who you want to be right now. Me going to the gym every day isn't guaranteeing me to become a supermodel or a NFL player. It's not. That could be the goal that I'm going there for, but most likely it's for the feeling in the moment and the experience. And that is what discipline is doing for you. And there are things that you are disciplined doing every day. Most likely have food at some point during the day, or brush your teeth, or shower, put on clothes, talk to people, get in your car, go to work. There are certain things that you're doing all the time and that you are disciplined in doing, whatever level you feel that discipline is. And in order to create that discipline, you have to remove the importance of the goal that you are trying to achieve. If you are trying to achieve going to the gym multiple times a week, you are doing it with the understanding that you have to keep going and that the gym is a means to an end, but also to a feeling, and that the discipline is going to become a lot easier to do when you understand what feeling it is that you are chasing. Why are you going to the gym? Why are you cooking meals at home? What are you trying to gain out of this experience? And the life that we are trying to bring into our life to focus on is a life full of emotions that we believe are only possible once we achieve this certain thing. Once I read a book a week for 15 years, I will live a life that I want. Probably not. That is probably not going to, this equals that. But the way we do one thing really does influence how we do everything else. So if you start cooking more meals at home, you'll feel better and be less needing of a nap after work. So you might go for a walk, and then on that walk, you might think of an idea that interests you, and then you might come home and be excited to paint. And then you'll watch a video of a painter who is really settled in her life and in those places that she works. And then it inspires you to call up your friend and have a good conversation with them. It is one thing that triggers the next and creates this reality that you've always wanted. And the discipline is in the self-love of the person that you want to become. Discipline is trust that you are building within yourself. You are making promises and then you are keeping them. And that self-trust is self-discipline, which is the self-love that we are looking for. The magic we are searching for is in all of the work that we are trying to avoid, to move around, to disassociate with. It is in the good and the bad that we are going to be able to move forward. And that discipline is the thing that keeps us going forward. So there is different ways to go about it, but figure out what is that thing that you do every single week that brings you that excitement and joy and presence, and why is that the thing that you keep going back to? And it's usually around a few of those ideas, but it could be other things. Maybe you finally feel good in your body because you're moving around for the entire class and you are present and you are doing something else with your body except thinking about how much you need to change it. Look into why it is that you gravitate toward the things that bring you joy and that are your non-negotiables. These are the things that you're going to do regardless of what is happening. So stop telling yourself that you are not disciplined, because there are plenty of things that you are doing right now that you go back to. Figure out why and then continue to implement that in all of these different ways. The third thing that we have to surrender, that we have to release, is this idea that it's not going to happen for us, that we're not worthy of somebody caring about us, that we're not worthy of the love or the goals or the dreams or the people who show up and who stay. That, of course, we're going to get hurt because we put ourselves out there. The life that you are interested in, the life that you are pursuing, is inevitable if you do the work to pursue it and to bring it to life. And to bring that life that you want into your life, you have to figure out what it is that you're looking for. Who are you trying to become? What is this feeling that you're chasing? And how can you implement it in the life that you currently have? I wanted to implement travel and being surrounded by people I care about and having more fun and going to different events. Nobody was going to show up to my door and be like, you know what? I really think that you right there, you should go have fun. I would think that they're crazy and probably get them off my lawn. So we have to realize that whatever we think, whatever we spend time with, is happening. If you think that you are unhealthy and that you aren't worthy of love, you probably are in a place where you're not exercising, you're not eating healthy food, and you're around people who don't care about you. And the way you start shifting that is you start showing yourself that love. And like we said, you're already doing it in certain places, and you're just trying to amplify the decisions that bring you closer to the person that you are, because it is a repetition that we are trying to create. Every single day is a cycle, and every single day has habits that we have built on from the day before. 98% of the thoughts we think today are the same thoughts we thought yesterday. So how can we create a brand new life if we are continuing to live the same life by thinking the same things? Everything that happens in our life happens through the filter of our own mind. So if our mind isn't changing, how can we change? And we start changing by surrendering these ideas that I'm just not good enough. And you have to decide, what do any of these words mean for you? What does success look like? What is it that you're trying to pursue and why? Your why is going to move you forward. And if you aren't moving forward, you are actually going backwards, because nothing in nature and life is stagnant. If it's stagnant, it means it's dead. So it's either dying or it's growing. But anything that is completely where it is dead. And you are alive because you're watching this, and you have to figure out, how are you moving forward? And if you're not, you're moving backwards. And that could be the people we're surrounded by, that could be the food that we eat, that could be the thoughts that we've had our entire lives about who we are and who we can be. It could be the job that we're at. It can be the people who we thought were there for us and we're still hung up on them, even if they're not there anymore. How can you remove these people and these thoughts and these ideas and these experiences from your mind to create this new life? Go and explore the world around you. You don't have to go to a new country to have a new experience. And when was the last time you did something for the first time? When did you step out of this zone of understanding, of comfort, of reality that you're not growing in, that you're not excited by? There is a whole world out there. And it can be as simple as you go down to that coffee shop and ask them what is the next event that they have, and go to it. Go to the places that you're frequenting often and just ask, hey, are there any events happening soon? They might be like, this is a coffee shop. We don't host any events. And the likelihood of that is probably pretty low, because coffee shops love hosting events. So maybe Starbucks isn't the right place to ask, but go somewhere else. Go see what is happening. And even a Target, I think, sometimes has a board of stuff that's happening. Look it up on your phone. What is the next festival in the city that I'm in? Go to it. Spend 5 minutes there. But put yourself out there to create this life and to change the reality that you're doing. If you don't want to go and talk to people right away, go to a bookstore and pick up a book that you probably would have never read and read it. If you're like unable and you have to be in a certain headspace to want to talk to a bunch of people, go and read a book that you never would. Go to the grocery store and pick up food that you never would have picked for yourself normally. Go and buy that advent calendar for $5. Go and create little experiences in your life as much as you can. And that way you will have things to talk about and other things to do. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it, but you also can spend plenty of money on it. Go and live the life that you want by surrendering the thoughts that aren't good for you. And if you go and you read this book and you hate it, at least now you have an opinion about yourself and the things that you like, and you know what to do next time. Go out there, explore. You don't have to get on a plane and go 17 hours to the next country to find yourself. You can do it through figuring out what sodas you like. Go to the store, buy a new soda, buy a new bag of chips, see if you like it. If it's a weird flavor, even better. Try it. Why not? The entire point of this life is to feel different things, experience different things, be around people, become the person that we've always wanted to. We cannot do it if we are stuck in the same thing over and over and over again. Because, as we said, not everyone is going to like you. And especially when you start showing up for yourself and start doing these things, people are not going to like you. And you might go to this event that you don't know anybody at, and people think you're weird because you're there by yourself. They might. And they could whisper about you. And at the end of the day, you are trying something new. You're trying to enjoy this life. You're trying to have these new experiences. And these people are sitting there judging other people and questioning why somebody would want to enjoy themselves, try something new, experience this life. I don't know. It doesn't sound like the type of person that you're trying to incorporate into your life anyway. So let them talk. Let them say whatever they want to say. Become the person that you want to be, because it is your purpose in this world is to enjoy your life, to have these experiences, to surround yourself with the people who actually want to be there and who are patient with you and who are kind to you and who want to be there. I will see you very soon for step number 10. But until then, continue on, This world is yours, and everything you want is inevitable. Have a great week.